Director Stoval is going to ask some questions about the demise of Fareless Square. Listen to what he says.
But yeah, we will definitely be tracking this over time.
Questions? Yes,
Sure.
Kraus.
So our overall, as we did our budgets and as we looked at ridership, looking at this, we basically calculating our elasticity of demand to say how much, for every, let's say, dollar we increase our fares, we expect a certain either stable ridership or a decrease or an increase. Usually when you raise fares or rates or prices, it goes down based on elasticity of demand. And so basically I think what we're kind of looking back now and saying is that our elasticity of demand calculations were correct.
Yes.
But furthermore, essentially we've taken out the free rail zone, which we weren't receiving any fares for. But yet, are we replacing any of that with additional revenue outside of just the increase in fares? If you understand what I'm asking. I mean, so we've seen a decrease in ridership based on taking out the free rail zone.
Correct.
We've seen an increase in overall revenue based on an increase in fares. But essentially, we're still running the same amount of trains, and we're not getting any additional revenue because these folks are not riding the max in that area per se. Is that correct or is that incorrect?
I think.
Did you hear what he was getting at? I understood what he was getting at, and he raised an excellent point. So they took out the free rail zone, they eliminated all those rides, and of what economic benefit was that to TriMet? What exactly did that do? Because they say all those people are not taking TriMet anymore. So he's asking, it sounds to me like he's asking, okay, well, you've eliminated the fareless square. What did that do for us as an organization? We didn't get any money out of it because they all left. So what I hear is him saying, was, what good was eliminating fareless square if all you did was eliminate a bunch of riders and you gained nothing from it? That's what I heard him say. Now listen to McFarland's answer, okay? McFarland's going to take this from that planner guy. He's not going to let that planner, whoever he is, answer this question. McFarland himself is going to answer this. Listen closely to what he says.
I think that is correct. When you look overall, and part of it is I think we're not able to divide the total revenue up into pieces that you're asking about as effectively as we might like. But what we would say is that overall fare revenue for this fiscal year is within 2% of what we had projected. So for the ability to frankly forecast that, I'd say that's pretty much spot on in terms of, and that did take into account the elasticities we were talking about and the switch in demand that we would see, we were projecting. We always projected that most of the free rail trips would simply not occur, would turn to walking trips or not occur. And I think to a large extent that's what we've see. So we're not seeing a huge shift to a paying customer base for some of those free rail trips, if perhaps that's your question. Some, and that's the bus indications that I think Steve was indicating, but it's not dramatic.
Okay, we got our standard, usual comment that you really can't make a hell of a lot of sense out. I mean, if you watch these meetings as closely as I do, for as long as I do, you start realizing that they're talking in double speak. In other words, they're talking, but they're not saying anything. You know what I mean? He's talking a lot of words, a lot of complicated words. But what is he saying? You know, he's saying, oh yeah, we were right. Of course he's going to say, we were right. We predicted that, you know. You're never going to see them say, oh no, we made a mistake. Or they'll never do that. So that's how they. So you hear him talking about this. I didn't think he answered Stoval's question at all. I thought he did his usual skirting around the issue, talking in doublespeak, and then ending it with a nothing. You know, that's what he does. He never gets to the damn. He never answers anything directly. Never.